WrestleZone presents Lost in the Midcard. Here are your hosts, Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black. Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. We are officially celebrating 9 years in the business. It has lost the mid-card. Yes, 9 years we've been doing this damn thing. Our official anniversary, I believe, is Friday, if I remember right. Oh, that infamous 2015 Royal Rumble. Who could all forget? But thank you for joining us. This is the go home on Raw. No football to block it, so hopefully we get a good go home show here on Raw. We'll give you our predictions here towards the end of the show. Got a lot to talk about: injury news, video game news, free agency news, all sorts of news, and we will be giving it to you. If you have not done so already, make sure you have subscribed to WrestleZone, where we bring you this show each and every week. Just type in WrestleZone, all one word, and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon so you know every time we go live, which is this time every Monday, 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 Central. Share it with your friends. Get in the chat like everybody I see. A chat hopping tonight. Good to see you.
JB, can you hear me? Can the chat hear me? Am I frozen? Is JB frozen? I think JB's frozen. JB's got to be frozen. So somebody talk. Somebody in the chat, let me know. Yeah, JB's frozen. Oh boy. Okay. So I'm riding solo for the moment while JB, I guess, fixes his internet and he looks very, very shocked. As he does it, he's gone. There goes JB. I'm sure he'll be back. For now, let's just talk. Let me just talk to the live chat, and we'll get into the topics that we have lined up when he gets back. Seth gives up the title. Do you guys see either the title on the line at the Rumble or the Elimination Chamber? I know we're going to be talking about Seth immediately when JB gets back. I don't personally think he's dropping the title tonight. Seth is very stubborn, and if Seth has an injury that will allow him to work through it while he rehabs and WWE scales back on his in-ring work between now and WrestleMania, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't think we see Seth Rollins wrestle until WrestleMania 40. And honestly, if Roman Reigns can defend the title 3 times a year, Seth can have a couple months off being on the programming without defending the title. If worst case scenario he has to give it up, I do see it being on the line in the Rumble on Saturday, which would make things even more interesting than they already are. But I truly believe Rollins is going to come out with the doom and gloom at first, and he'd be like, "Yeah, but I'm still working through it," and the Rollins laugh and all that thing. So that's what I'm predicting for Seth tonight on Raw. Oh God, why are we talking about Stone Cold in the 2K24 trailer? Yes, it wasn't good. I don't know what they were thinking, but it is what it is. It's still a cool commercial. Don't let the 4 to 5 seconds of the terribly CGI done Stone Cold ruin the commercial for you. It was a well done commercial, and that's all that matters. I'm trying to see if I have heard from JB. I am trying. Yeah, he's saying his computer completely froze. He's not sure what happened. I'm just gonna tell him, well, hurry back. All right, so hopefully he will be back with us shortly, until he's back, like I said, I'm going to run with the chat. So, and you look like somebody that needs banned. Goodbye. All right. Jake the Hero Assassin says, I think if Seth does vacate the World Heavyweight title, I can see them putting it on the line in the Men's Royal Rumble. Yeah, I agree. If Seth has to vacate, I think the title's on the line in the Rumble. And the man is back. JB's back. The computer from hell
has a newer computer.
Like an Undertaker casket match at 2K24.
Yeah, you might. I don't know. It's a brand new, not brand new, but I mean it's a newer computer, so I'm not sure what happened. All of a sudden, my mouse wouldn't work. You might want to block whoever's trying to put some spam in the chat there.
I did. I blocked Gonzalez Mira.
They
have been deleted.
My internet's like fiber, so it's like 500 up and down. So that's not an issue either. I don't know what happened. It just all of a sudden everything froze.
You went into robot mode, and then you had like it froze on this shocked look on your face, like you looked very stunned by what was taking place.
Probably, yeah, because my mouse wasn't working. Control-Alt-Delete wasn't working. Delete. Thankfully, a lot of browsers have restore, so I could just pull up all my tabs that I had up, and maybe it was just due for a reboot. I don't know. That was kind of weird. That was weird, but hey. Yeah, I was like, it's a fairly new computer that's pretty souped up. So
I talked a little bit Seth Rollins because that's what the chat wanted me to talk about, but we could still get into.
That is our main story. That is our main story. So let's throw that fancy man up there on the graphic. Our lead today is Seth Rollins. Unfortunately, it has been confirmed by Fightful Select and others that Rollins has sustained a torn MCL, partially torn meniscus. Thankfully, no ACL tear. But word is that he has some knee issues. Of course, he has a history of knee issues. We remember, of course, when he tried to powerbomb Kane at a live event and tore his ACL at that point. Right now, it's Fightful says we're not sure how WWE is going to play things out on television, or if the injury will be downplayed or embellished. Some people put the time frame at about 2 months, which I don't think you can hold off the title to WrestleMania. I think I don't know what the original plans were. My assumption was Punk was probably going to win the Chamber and choose Rollins, and now you got to wonder: do you put the title up at the Rumble, or do you put the title up at the Chamber?
I think Rollins keeps the title. I think he's working. I think he's working through this rehab style. Like I said to the chat, when you were rebooting, if Roman Reigns could defend his championship 3 times a year, I think we can give Seth Rollins 2 months off of in-ring matches, and as long as he's showing up on Raw to build the program into WrestleMania, it doesn't matter. And here's the great thing: if Cody wins the Rumble on Saturday, they don't have that built-in Raw storyline until the Elimination Chamber. Because if Cody wins the Rumble, he's picking Roman Reigns. So the Raw storyline surrounding the World Heavyweight Championship won't even really need to begin on weekly television until after the Elimination Chamber next month. That gives Rollins a couple weeks, and he doesn't even need to be on TV until the Elimination Chamber is all said and done. I believe Rollins is going to work through this in rehab. I still think we're getting Punk versus Rollins at Mania. But if they don't, I believe the title will be on the line in the Royal Rumble this Saturday night.
Hypothetically, with these type of injuries, if he rehabs his ass off, he could even be back in a month.
Yeah, but you don't risk it. You don't even if let's say a month from now he's good to go. I'm still not putting that man in the ring until WrestleMania 40.
Yeah.
If I'm WWE management and Seth is going to rehab through this, he does not wrestle another match until he's standing across the ring from CM Punk at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. And no way, no how, no chance in hell.
Yeah, and then obviously the 30-day rules are all bullshit anyways, especially
dude, you can throw that shit out the window after what Roman did this year. In the year before that, I don't even want to hear the 30-day thing anymore. It was a great thing to utilize But you can never go back to that again
No.
in current modern day WWE because Roman Reigns has ruined the
So
third
did Lesnar.
title defense role. Oh yeah, Lesnar screwed it up too.
Lesnar was almost worse.
Man, I think Roman's been worse. I think
Maybe.
Roman's been much worse than Brock.
Maybe since 1,000 days, yeah.
I'm talking 2023, comparable to any year Brock held the title. I think.
Yeah. Well, he crossed 1,000
that
days.
year was far worse for that title than any year Brock held it.
Yeah, Roman hit 1,000 days in
like mid 2023.
Yeah. May. Yeah. So
Yeah.
about that point is when he really slowed down on that. Yeah. But hopefully,
I'm hoping for
obviously
the best for him. Everybody, from as far as my understanding, he's opening Raw tonight, so we're gonna find out really really quick. What the deal is with Seth and in the road to WrestleMania. They're not gonna make us wait, and it's good.
That's good.
Like there's no NFL games tonight. No excuses. They need to hit this show out of the park. Home run Raw tonight. Has to be a home run. Has to be one of the best go-home shows they've ever done to build hype going into the Royal Rumble on Saturday night. It's got to be a huge show.
Yep. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Obviously, we'll see what happens right off the get-go. We'll see if Sean puts his report out before we get off the air. We'll see if that is indeed going to kick it off. We'll let you know as soon as that drops. Moving along to the next big thing here, and that big thing is a major player in the free agent market, Kazuchika Okada, who is leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling in as little as 9 days is when his contract is up. It'll end his historic run with the company that included 7 trips with the world titles. And obviously, if you watch Impact, like I have been keeping my resolution, he'll be on Impact next week in a 6-man tag with the Machine Guns. So, I mean, obviously, I don't think obviously Impact is a one and done deal, Matt. But you got to think WWE is probably out of it because he just probably he sees how Nakamura has been booked. Is he really going to get booked better than Nakamura? It's gotta be AEW.
I think it's 80-20 AEW right now.
What's the 20? Impact or WWE?
No, WWE.
Okay.
I'm not completely rolling out WWE because if they back up the Brinks truck and outbid AEW, dude might end up there. I'm not rolling. I'm going 80-20 AEW. I could probably even be convinced to go 85-15 AEW. I think that's where he's going. I think his relationship with the Young Bucks is very important to him, and I think they would take care of him in AEW. I also believe going to AEW leaves the door open for him to continue to work in New Japan sporadically for the years to come. He's not. I don't believe Okada wants to completely abandon New Japan Pro Wrestling, but I also believe that New Japan Pro Wrestling is not even in the ballpark of offering this man the money that AEW and WWE can offer him right now, and that's what it's all about. Like, dude, he's a once in a lifetime performer, and he's not. We don't know his exact figures, but apparently he's been paid very little in New Japan compared to what the top talents make stateside over here. And if AEW can pay him the big main event contract, they can let him stay in Japan and travel back and forth if he wants to. He can continue to do the work in New Japan. He gets to be with the Bucks. He gets to be with, Ospreay still and White and, all his former friends in New Japan. To me, AEW just makes sense, but I can never roll out Triple H and Nick Khan deciding to spend stupid money just to prove a point.
Yeah.
So until the ink is signed and dry, I'm still saying WWE is not out of the race. I think it's AEW's race to win. But I'm telling you what, a year ago, the scene at Battle of the Valley where Okada and Mercedes Moné were standing there holding up their respective IWGP championships. And 1 year later, they are the talk of the wrestling world as the top free agents for men and women, and they both could possibly end up in AEW sooner rather than later. That's insane. And if Tony Khan really wants to be a madman, they could redo All In at Revolution. They could literally end the show with Okada coming out and then Mercedes Moné coming out following him.
Just
and they could
Adam Cole and Danielson.
Exactly. That's what I said. Like they could redo the All Out finish. Like, this is the new era of All Elite Wrestling. If they wanted to wait that long, I still think we're going to see Mercedes on AEW programming before Revolution, because I think she's going to wrestle at Revolution. But, anything can happen. But, man, we ain't even a month into 2024 yet. In the wrestling news, in the world of free agency, has been insane. Like, how can you not love being a fan right now? Like, being a fan right now, professional wrestling is just, it's the best. Like, honestly, it's the best.
Clearly, they're don't expect Okada in the Royal Rumble unless there's a special agreement. But I don't know if I don't know if I don't think New Japan would do a special agreement with WWE with their relationship with AEW.
And I can't see New Japan going, oh, you're taking our guy away from us that we're never going to get back. Sure, you can be in your Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
I don't see that happening.
And I see so many people thinking Sasha Banks is going to be in the Rumble.
Well, people think that because of what happened with Punk in Survivor Series.
Yeah, and Trinity
this
going
is a
back.
This is a completely different situation. Yes, I do think we'll see Trinity in the Rumble.
Oh yeah,
we ain't seen Sasha because, gun to my head, and I got to be right, she's already signed. I believe she's already signed with AEW, and they're waiting till the time is right to bring her in.
They would have had to back up the truck.
I truly believe that she's already signed.
They would have had to back up the truck for her, and also I think Charlotte not get injured to have that major 4-on-4 match with the 4 Horsewomen against Damage Control. Well, not Damage Control, but I'm blanking on who that was supposed to be. But getting the 4 Horsewomen together for WrestleMania. But again, it sounds like, according to Sean Ross Sapp, WWE didn't want to pay her that money, where Tony Khan does.
I do see Tama Tonga. I do believe Tama Tonga is WWE bound.
Yeah,
I don't think he's going to AEW. I think he's going to WWE, and I would not be surprised to see him implement into the Bloodline story sooner rather than later.
That'd be pretty cool. Corey Elam in the chat. Hello, everyone. Any word on Seth Rollins? We did mention it in the open.
Yeah, we talked about him earlier in the show.
We are expecting Rollins to open Raw. It has not been officially confirmed yet. I'm not seeing it on socials or anything like that. So we'll wait and see what WWE or Sean Ross Sapp say with the rundown here, because I checked WWE's Twitter, and so far nothing confirmed of who's opening Raw at this point, unless they said it way early in the day, which I don't see. So it's gonna be a hot one, though. I mean, Punk and Cody face to face. That's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh, here it is. Rollins will kick off the show. That was 4 hours ago.
There we go.
WWE. They just tweeted a lot, so it took me a while to get there. Punk and Cody. That's gonna be fun. I mean, Cody and McIntyre. That promo was great. McIntyre and Punk, that promo was great. So I can only expect Punk and Cody to be yet another great promo as well. We also got Damian Priest looking to deal with Drew McIntyre. I don't know if there's an official match there or not. Ivy Nile taking on Valhalla. Chad Gable against Ivar, Miz, and taking on, it's Miz in a handicap match against Tom and Nick Mysterio. Let's move along to some big news from today in the video game world. Lots of stuff announced today. Not just the other athletes, but new match types, a release date, 3 different versions of the game, and even some cool pre-order bonuses were announced all today with WWE 2K24. Of course, head over to WrestleZone.com. Matt's got the news handled for you there as well.
I also have an exclusive interview with Brian Williams and Lionel Jenks. Got some good answers. I'll be honest. I'm a lot more optimistic about this game today than I was last week.
One of the pre-order bonuses, if you get the digital version, is the fact that you get 2K23 for free right away. I did not buy 23.
I think that's a great bonus for people who didn't buy 2K23. Or let's say you bought 2K20. Let's say you have multiple systems and you bought 2K23 on PS5, but you're gonna pre-order 2K24 on Xbox Series X. Boom, you get a copy of 2K23 for your Xbox.
Yeah.
So that ain't bad, man. Like,
No,
I think that's pretty cool.
Part of me wants the physical copy though with Cody, but I don't know. And so it's like, do I really need 2K23? I don't know. We'll kind of see there. Our old friend Kev Kellum, who I've worked with in many shows. Kev says Okada wants a real motivating challenge. He goes to WWE. What do you think of that?
I think he's going to have a motivating challenge no matter where he goes, because Okada now is going to have to turn into a weekly television character.
Yep.
And I think that's something he's never really had to deal with before. When he's come over to AEW, or when he's come over and done the thing with TNA recently, he is an attraction. He is like a Brock Lesnar, Undertaker level attraction to these companies, and they don't utilize him in weekly storylines or anything like that. So I believe no matter where he goes, AEW or WWE, I think he's going to be in a new challenge of how do I become a weekly character and how do I make people care about me on a week-to-week basis instead of just a couple times a year.
Yeah. So let me go into the details here before we get into the chat.
I did want to get Frantic's World right now. Any new match types? We got 4 new match types in 2K24. We've got the return of special guest referee. We have the return of the gauntlet match. We have the casket match. And we have an ambulance match. And while they're saying that the ambulance match is the first time in a WWE game, apparently, according to Mark Joe, the ambulance match was originally featured in SmackDown vs. Raw 2010 on the Nintendo DS. Not sure anybody gives a shit about that, but that is a fact that I found out about at some point today.
Just on the DS?
Just on the DS. How weird is that?
Oh, very.
Yeah.
There are 3 covers. The main cover is Cody Rhodes, as a lot of people predicted. Your deluxe cover, very cool cover with Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley. And then your 40 years of WrestleMania cover that is got all the superstars from Andre to Hulk to Stone Cold Steve Austin up to the current stars of the Man Becky Lynch, Roman Reigns. And so then of course we got dude, that 40 years of WrestleMania showcase is going to be badass, by the way.
I'm really interested in how they're going to do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of holes and a lot of people missing that I don't think they have the rights to use. So I'm going to be very curious to see what matches get used and what they choose to go with.
I have a feeling we ain't going to see a
recreation. 39 years of WrestleMania.
I have a feeling we ain't going to see a recreation of the end of WrestleMania 20. Just saying.
Now I don't think we're going to see a recreation of the end of WrestleMania 30 either.
True.
So like, there's some big moments that they like. I just don't think they can do. I credited you, Joe. Shut up.
From the press release, 2K showcase of the Immortals for 40 years. WrestleMania has captivated millions of fans around the globe as WWE superstars became legends, and spectacular moments from Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant to Mr. WrestleMania, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker putting on a match for the ages. The grandest stage of them all has drawn earth-shaking roars from 100,000 plus in attendance as the biggest icons have made history for the WWE. The 2K24 showcase of the Immortals puts players in control, playing through the most iconic moments of WrestleMania history as 2K's distinctive slingshot tech seamlessly morphs gameplay into live action footage. Oh man, I know one that's gonna be in there for sure. That's gonna be fun to play. the heist of the century. That's got to be one that's in there. You'd got to think.
Yeah, they got the rights to all those guys. I can't see that
Yep.
not being in there.
Oh, the hype and iconic.
I was there. I was there when that happened. That was a
Yeah.
that was a WrestleMania moment for sure. We left that stadium buzzing that night, and it was the night and day difference of how I left the AT&T Stadium a year later for WrestleMania 32. Yeah. So,
unfortunately, the only WrestleMania I've ever gone to is considered one of the worst in history. I loved it though. They boosted iconic roster as always. The new match types that Matt mentioned, gameplay upgrades, upgrades to my GM, as well as my faction and my rise. You got the universe mode and of course the creation suite. Your pre-order bonus, if you get the standard edition, you'll get the Nightmare Family Pack that has an undashing Cody Rhodes with his mask, Stardust, Dusty Rhodes, and well, not Gold Dust, but you get Superstar Billy Graham instead. Gold Dust is kind of somewhere else. You'll also get a couple of My Faction cards, a bruised Cody Rhodes gold card, and his dog Pharaoh as a manager. That's pretty cool. That's also a gold rarity for the manager card as well. I want Pharaoh as my manager. Damn it. If you spend a $99.99, you get the deluxe. You get, of course, everything I just mentioned, as well as the season pass. You get a My Rise boost and supercharger, gold rarity, Rhea Ripley and Bianca My Faction cards, and a alternate attires for Bianca and Rhea. And if you get spend $119.99 to get the 40 years of WrestleMania, you get everything, including alternate attires for Macho Man from WrestleMania 6, Ray from 22, Triple H from 30, Charlotte from 33, and Rhea from 36, as well as some gold rarity My Faction cards for all of those people. WrestleMania 40 Arena, which is coming after launch. Should be interesting to see what that entails.
I believe this is the first every year where they're actually adding in the WrestleMania stage following WrestleMania. I think that's a really cool.
Oh, it's not a 40 years deal. It's the actual 40.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the
stage.
WrestleMania 40 arena. And that's why it's not in yet, because nobody's seen it.
No.
So I'm sure WWE shared their plans with 2K ahead of time so they can get started on it. But yeah, I love that they're like bringing that in. Steven, I don't think AEW is looking to counter WWE 2K. I think they're just going to continue on with what they're with what they're doing with AEW Fight Forever. That game is not dead. I know some people want to say that it's done and they're moving on. AEW and Tony Khan fully intend to continue to support this game for quite some time. There will be several seasons of passes to come in the months and possibly years ahead. Like, the game's not dead. People might not be playing it and talking about it as much as they were last year, obviously, but game's not done. They've got a lot of content in the works, a lot of characters, game modes, create a wrestler features and such. Like, don't count Fight Forever out yet. If you enjoy the gameplay and you just want more to do, there's going to be more coming to that game. I promise you that. I would like to think Bray Wyatt is in the game. Steven, I don't know. Like, the full roster's not out yet. The press release says that there are over 200 characters in the game on disc when you buy it, like after you unlock everybody. That's a huge roster. I think 2K23 base game was around like 170. So much larger roster than what we got last year. So it should be very interesting. Frantic World, WB Games, I thought they were the prime candidate to distribute Fight Forever. I think AEW went with THQ Nordic for the nostalgia of THQ. I think they should have done everything in their power to go with WB Games, and I do hope that I hope the sequel to Fight Forever is distributed and even worked on by WB Games, because AEW owns that engine and everything that's been done with it. So they can take that away from Ukes at any time, hand it to another developer, and say, build off of this. So we'll see.
Yeah, it's just that the AEW game has not held my attention after I played the Elite mode enough times, and it's just like,
The
well,
games, the gameplay. Here's my problem with WWE 2K and AEW Fight Forever. WWE 2K, I love everything outside of the ring. I love the creation modes. I love universe. I love all that kind of stuff. That stuff holds my attention. I love creating things. I love simming matches and stuff like that. When I actually had to play a match of WWE 2K in recent years, I can't stand it. I don't like the gameplay. I'm very much hoping that the
is that the
gameplay for
same?
2K24 is improved this year. Whereas AW Fight Forever, I love the gameplay. I have a blast every time I'm wrestling matches. But when I'm done wrestling matches, I look at the rest of the game and like, there's nothing else to do.
No.
So it's like, it's both sides of the. If I could have AEW Fight Forever gameplay with WWE 2K creation and universe stuff, and I could have both of those things together, I would have the perfect wrestling game. But unfortunately, that does not exist. So maybe Ultra Pro Wrestling will deliver all my hopes and dreams later this year. We'll find out.
We'll have to see. Moving on to the next topic here. Some details from Fightful Select regarding the departure of Andrade El Idolo. He has, of course, as we mentioned on the show before, he has finished up with All Elite Wrestling, has an agreement in place with WWE. So you might probably a good bet to expect him on Saturday as well. The original deal for Andrade was 2 years, but his injury time was added and extended to the deal throughout the end of the year. AEW said that Andrade has been very open about his contract status and that his deal would be up at the end of the year. And he mentioned he had planned to stay with AEW, but was considering the other authors. But at the end of his run, he was told he was telling wrestlers he was heading back to WWE. So something in somewhere this year has kind of changed his mind. Tony Khan has publicly left the door open for Andrade's return. But Andrade has said it's a frustrating process. And obviously his wife, of course, is with WWE, Charlotte Flair, though she is out for at least probably a good 6 to 8 months yet with her torn ACL. But while WWE is not confirmed Andrade is back with the company, I guarantee you, Matt, probably going to expect a Royal Rumble entry for Andrade, don't you think?
Yeah. If Andrade is not in the Rumble, I would be shocked. I would be beyond shocked.
Do you
Because I think he's a lock to go back. Like, to me, there was no reason for him to leave AEW if he didn't have a contract waiting for him with WWE. So
Yeah.
I don't see any other way. I feel he'll be in the Rumble on Saturday night, and if he's not there, I would be genuinely surprised.
Do you put him in the storyline with Legado and LWO, or keep him completely separate from that?
Well, he has a history with Zelina Vega.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're going to acknowledge that, then yes, you put him in that storyline, because reuniting him with Zelina against Santos Escobar could make for some really good shit on TV in the coming months. So
or he's like in the middle and doesn't know which side, and you play that out for a while too.
they could both be trying to recruit him. That could be a storyline leading into WrestleMania. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's smart to play up on his history with Zelina, and hopefully they do that when he returns.
Next up, talking some Big E. He spoke recently with TMZ and says that he still does not have a timeline for a potential return. Quote, "I don't have a timeline, unfortunately, but thank you for asking. I just want to make a smart decision. I didn't start wrestling to end up being in a wheelchair, so I just want to make sure I am making the best decision for myself." Now we've seen Big E kind of talk recently here. They just recently reunited with New Day on the bump. Obviously, they're in a feud with Imperium right now. Would do you think we're getting swerved here? Do you think a surprise is coming Saturday, possibly?
Wrestler brain tells me the Big E's on his way back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think WWE as a company under Triple H would run that Ridge Holland story on NXT and mock Big E's injury by fake injuring Ilya Dragunov. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of a sudden at New Day are finding themselves in a rivalry with a three-man faction heading into WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
I think we see Big E in the Royal Rumble on Saturday. And if we don't see him in the Rumble, I still think we might see him in a six-man tag at WrestleMania 40 against Imperium if they don't go with Gunther and Lesnar. So
yeah, at that point, you probably got to
if they
get
go
the
with
title.
Gunther and Lesnar, like that's totally out the window.
Yeah, you still got that. Obviously, Lesnar possibly returning back to the company on Saturday as
We
well.
could see Lesnar on the Rumble too. I'm telling you, Rumble could be very, very big
Only
for
9
for
people.
this company.
Only 9 on the men's side have been announced right now. So
Yeah, but most of them are very much heavy hitters that have a chance of. You can make an argument for why they should win. So this might be the most star-studded Rumble I can think of in recent memory.
well, like I said, if it's completely safe for him to do so, obviously we want him back in that damn ring, and only if 110% it's completely safe for him to do so. But you're right. We brought that up when it was when they did that, because we were like, Jesus Christ, that's kind of a bad taste having Ridge do that. First, I thought it was real. I didn't realize it was kayfabe. I wasn't
It's
home.
to me, it's even worse that it was kayfabe. If
Yeah,
it was real, like, oh my God, get Ridge out of the ring and never let the man work again. But the fact that it was kayfabe
yeah,
and they're doing that, like, to me, you cannot do a storyline like that with Ridge Holland unless Big E is medically cleared and ready to return to the ring. You
yeah,
cannot mock a career-ending injury like that
yeah,
unless he's good to go. Or unless they specifically called him and he gave them all his blessing
yeah,
to run that angle.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's not like if Big E does return, he's going to feud with Ridge, because I think Ridge is back in NXT. Obviously, the Brutes are done. It's now Pete Dunne. Hey, welcome back, Pete Dunne,
Yeah,
and Tyler
this is
Bate.
the first Royal Rumble under TKO and Triple H.
Yeah, yeah,
I think they do want to make a statement, and
yeah.
I think Saturday is going to be special. Dare I say, I think Saturday is going to be very, very special. I think we're going to have a hell of a Royal Rumble. I do not think Collision's going to punt. We only have one announced match so far, but FTR and Daniel Garcia against House of Black in a trios
Cage
elimination
match.
steel cage match.
Yeah,
That don't sound like they're punting to me. Sounds
no,
like AEW is coming. They're going to be burning their A game on Saturday night. So there's going to be plenty of great professional wrestling for all of us to watch and enjoy this weekend. It's a great time to be a fan.
um. Well, last thing we have here, we just need to just get a quick word from you, Matt. What are your thoughts on Tony Khan announcing the return of the rankings?
The rankings. I think it's great. It was
If
unexpected.
they use them,
It was unexpected. I didn't see
yeah.
it coming. Like, it was literally out of nowhere. They were just like, "Hey, Tony Khan, breaking news! Tony Khan just tweeted that that the ranking system's back," and I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, it was very sudden out of nowhere. I think it's a mix of things. I think it's in response to the Hook and Jinder Mahal situation. I think it has something to do with the fact that words coming out today from Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer that the ranking system were eliminated in AEW because CM Punk did not like them, and Tony just bending over backwards to appease Punk and doing anything he wanted and got rid of the rankings. If that's true, I'm surprised they weren't back sooner.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only been gone for about 4
Well,
months, but honestly, I'm surprised they weren't back sooner if that was the case. But
Gotta have a
like they're
year
in
in.
but AEW's in the restore the feeling um era right now. So bringing the ranking system back makes perfect sense to me. I'm all for it. And the great thing about the ranking system this time around, they no longer have AEW Dark and Elevation to lean onto as a crutch anymore. All
Yeah.
these wins and losses, you're going to see on weekly TV across these Dynamite, Rampage, or Collision, and that's a beautiful thing.
Well, hopefully they don't count Ring of Honor then, because otherwise it's
I
going
don't
to be
think
the
I don't
same.
think you can count Ring of Honor. It's not it's a different brand. There's a different win-loss record over there.
All right, you got it. My favorite pay-per-view on Saturday coming up is the Royal Rumble, and right now we only have 4 matches announced for it, but obviously 3 of those 4 are going to go 2.5 hours, so there's not really probably much room to add to the pay-per-view. But let's get into it here. Singles match for the WWE United States Championship. We got Logan Paul taking on Kevin Owens. I was thinking Logan Paul all the way up until I thought, well, now that the main event's a fatal 4-way and Rocky could maybe get involved and screw Roman Reigns, maybe LA Knight might not be available for the US title feud at WrestleMania. So I was kind of undecided in this, but and then the way things go down with last week, Paul kind of re-injuring KO's hand, and it's like, God, are they going to put this on KO's? I'm really undecided on this, Matt. Where you lean on this?
I'm going Logan Paul. I still think the plan is Paul and Knight at WrestleMania, with Knight getting this big moment and his first WWE title win there. So I don't see them deterring from that plan. I'm not sure what you do with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania right now, which is kind of sad
Yeah,
because that dude deserves the world. And I look at the landscape of WWE right now, and without him and Sami Zayn on the same show to go after the tag titles, I'm not really sure what you do with Kevin Owens at WrestleMania 40 right now. So that's a bummer. But I do think Logan Paul retains, and I do think we're going Paul and Knight at WrestleMania 40.
Women's Royal Rumble match for, of course, a chance at a title at WrestleMania 40. Right now, the 5 women that have been announced for this are Bayley, Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, and Maxine Dupree. My pick is going to be the obvious pick of, no, I'm just kidding.
What's the obvious pick? Because I don't think there's a 100% obvious pick here.
I was going to go obvious and say the man, but I think it's too obvious. I'm going Bayley. And Bayley's going to get the jump on Damage Control before Damage Control gets the jump on Bayley. I think we're going to either that or we're going to have ourselves a evolution thumbs up, thumbs down moment or something. But it's very similar setup to Batista when he won the Rumble and Triple H trying to talk him into taking and going for the other title. I think I'm going to go Bayley on this one, man.
It's a hard choice between Bayley and Becky, but Bayley makes the most sense given storyline reasonings. There would be no other reason for her to go after Io Sky.
Becky can win the chamber.
That's what I believe will happen. I believe Becky will win the chamber in Australia. But I think Bayley makes the most sense. Becky Rhea, Bayley Io at WrestleMania 40. And I hate to even suggest this because it kind of makes me ill after the run Naomi had in TNA and one of the seemingly reasons she left the company to begin with. But I could see the Kabuki Warriors against Bianca Belair and Naomi for the women's tag team titles at WrestleMania.
Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I wouldn't put Trinity as a Royal Rumble winner right away there.
No, I don't see her winning the Rumble, but I see her being involved. I do
Bayley,
see her being in the Rumble on Saturday. If I'm telling you this right now, If Trinity is not in the Royal Rumble on Saturday, she's AEW bound. That's my bold prediction.
Yeah.
If we do not see Naomi in the Royal Rumble on Saturday, Trinity's AEW bound, and she will arrive in AEW alongside Mercedes Moné.
Man, imagine a faction with those two ladies. Bailey winning also will solidify that there are no two-time winners of the Women's Royal Rumble dating back to when it debuted in 2018. It's been a different woman every year.
Fair point.
If Becky wins, she'd be the first two-time winner. Bailey wins, she would be the 7th different woman to win the Royal Rumble. So yeah, and I didn't think I would go Bailey and right away, but I just started thinking about how too obvious the Becky Lynch stuff is. So I'd probably have her do the chamber. Fatal 4-way for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, LA Knight. Goddamn, I finally think this is the time where they finally take it off of Roman. I've seen some things saying that they don't want him to beat Hogan's record. There's been starting to a kind of a swell of information from fans alike that don't want Roman to beat the record because obviously Hogan actually worked a lot of those days. I honestly think that they are finally going to pull the damn trigger. I'd love to see LA Knight win it, but I think they're going to put it on Orton just because of how impressive he has looked since being gone for 15 months. The shape he's in, the pops he's getting. I mean, he's getting bigger pops than LA Knight, at least as of last Friday's SmackDown. When everybody was in the ring, everybody was chanting Randy. So I'm going to go Randy Orton. And I think The Rock interferes and costs Roman.
That's what I want to see happen. Am I confident that it's going to happen? Probably not. To me,
Nope.
There's 3 scenarios for Roman Reigns at WrestleMania right now. There's Roman and Cody for the title. There's Roman and Rock without the title, or there's Roman, Cody, and Rock in a triple threat match for the title. I'm not sure what direction they're going in right now. I really don't know. In a perfect world, The Rock comes out on Saturday night. He gets into it with Roman. Orton RKO's AJ Styles and wins the WWE Universal Championship without Roman getting pinned. That way, Roman has a reason to bitch going into WrestleMania. The title's finally off of him. We can get Orton and Cody at Mania. They can do Rock and Roman without the title. It'd be great. Will it happen? I don't know. I do know it's time for Monday Night Raw. So let's quickly pick our Royal Rumble winners. I'm going with Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I'm going with Cody Rhodes as well. I think he's going to finish the story. CM Punk's going to win the chamber.
I agree. I think it's a lot easier to get to Punk and Rollins by doing the chamber, especially since Rollins might not be on TV for the next few weeks. You don't need Punk winning the Rumble and then talking about Rollins for weeks with Rollins maybe not being on TV. That would suck.
Any other surprises that may enter the Rumble that come to your mind?
Like I said, Trinity / Naomi, Andrade, Jade Cargill maybe. I'm not really sure who else could be like a genuine surprise. I don't know. Maybe they get Ty Dillinger to come out at 10. I don't think they do because he tweeted about it. And to me, as soon as you tweet about it, that's you telling the world that, yeah, I'm not doing this. Because if you were doing this, you wouldn't have tweeted about it.
Rumors are he's visiting Impact too, or TNA, by the way.
Yeah, he was backstage at the TNA tapings over the weekend.
Yeah.
But he's local to the Orlando area. That might not mean anything.
All right, we got some people walking backstage with their suitcases, all setting up for the Go Home show. So for Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost the Midcard. We'll be back here same time next week. Enjoy the Rumble.